And then some of us, we need to do what Paul says in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 7. In 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 7, he says, to even have lawsuits at all is a defeat for you. To have lawsuits at all with one another is already a defeat. In other words, even if they put your name down as the winner of the lawsuit, you've lost. You're a loser. Even if your friends take your side of the argument, even if you get all the likes on your Facebook posts, even if you win the argument before an unbelieving court, the kingdom takes a hit, the gospel takes a hit, your ability to influence others for the gospel takes a hit. Don't pursue winning the argument and lose in the kingdom. Your major responsibility or your major role as a Christian is not to protect your rights and to demand justice no matter what the cost. Your major responsibility is to display with your life the power of the gospel and how the gospel revolutionizes a person's life. And one of the ways that you can demonstrate that, verse 7, why not suffer wrong? Why not rather be defrauded? Verse 8, but you yourselves wrong and defraud even your own brothers. You think about the gospel, what it is that we celebrate in the Lord's Supper. What we celebrate in the Lord's Supper is that someone who did not deserve to pay the penalty for sin paid the penalty. And he paid the penalty for someone else who wasn't worthy and wasn't deserving. And do you know that's exactly what you do when you let it go? When you forgive somebody who offended you and justice should be served. What they did to you was wrong. It was not right. But when you take that wrong and that need for justice and you say, I'm going to let it go, you're doing exactly what your Lord and Savior did for you on the cross. And that, listen, that demonstrates the power of the gospel to people who are watching. And that's not always and only the only path forward, but Paul is saying that is a path forward. Why not rather suffer wrong? Why not rather be defrauded? Some of us, we need to go have a face-to-face conversation. Some of us need to invite a third party in. Some of us, in fact, I'd say all of us need to at least start with, let it go. In your heart today, let it go. The only person that's being hurt with your bitterness and unforgiveness is you. And it will eat at you and eat at you and eat at you until there's hardly anything left. And what you're communicating to yourself and to your family and to your unbelieving friends and neighbor is that the gospel is true enough to save me from hell, but it's not true enough to liberate me from the chains of unforgiveness and bitterness. And today, that ends. And let it go.